very eloquently described Toronto, and like also going over like walking around Toronto, what that's like, especially in comparison to like the other places you've
Oh
been
yeah.
to. Would be cool, um, especially if we're gonna get walking around.
Absolutely. Yeah. So
Do we want to connect Herbie at all to?
Well, Herbie connection, I have a question along those lines, I think.
Okay.
Do you have some questions queued up for walking around Toronto and for Matt? Or did you?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I just don't have it.
How you feeling?
Yeah, how you doing?
Good.
You know all the answers.
That's true.
The only test I'll get 100 on, I'll take it. All right, where are we going?
Yeah, so we think we're talking about international Toronto. You asked about that first, just like describing the city, what it's like to walk around the city, what you feel.
Cool.
In the city.
Well, actually, first, could you, since we were just on the topic of asking for help and being an international student, that being a challenge, could you talk about Matt and your relationship with him and why you feel comfortable asking him for help and how you've asked him for help?
Okay. I gotta do the take thing again?
No.
Thank you.
I thought you'll like it.
I do actually. I actually do.
Okay. Look attention.
Focus.
Okay. And yep.
Yeah, when it came to asking for help, although it might be a little stubborn to ask somebody for help, the first people or first friends I made when I got to Canada would have been Keith Purchase and Matt Renault. I moved into their apartment when I got here. Like that was the first place I lived. Matt wasn't even in the apartment. He had moved back to his house in Ottawa with his family for the summer. So I asked him if I could stay in his room for, I think I was in there for about 3 weeks or so, 3 or 4 weeks. So that relationship just like, hey, we're friends. I'm sleeping in your room. You're not here. We're automatically friends, even though we haven't even met yet. And Keith and I became friends after living together for so long. So anything that I thought of Canadians came from Keith first, just because this is the first Canadian I'm meeting. And over time, the three of us just became good friends. At that time when I actually broke my phone, I don't even remember I told him my phone was broken. And Matt was like, hey man, I got an iPhone 5 I haven't used, and I'm pretty sure it's a Sprint American phone. If you can unlock it, you can have it. I definitely wasn't expecting him to do that. Didn't really ask him to do that. He just did it. So from then on, it's like, that's a friend to me. Anyone who just does something without you asking or seems to genuinely care about your well-being, that's a friend. And I'm glad that I had a relationship with somebody like that, yeah.
Can you describe the feeling that you felt when you made your first friend in a new place?
Like a kid at his first day in school. I got a new friend, and I'm not alone up here anymore. I can count on somebody. If I need something or I need someone, I have a friend here. The way I always thought about it is if the worst came to worst, if I was out in public and I had to get in a fight, which one of my friends would actually be with me? Or do I have any of those friends? So when I actually made some of those genuine friends, it felt great to know I had somebody who had my back, basically. Yeah.
I've never lived in another country for a prolonged period of time. Can you talk about the loneliness?
Yeah, so even though, again, I'm in Canada and English is the first language, there's certain norms that are much different than anything in Kentucky. Even in America, people joke about how different Kentucky is. So coming to a new country, there were times where I felt like people may not have understood exactly what I was going through or understood why I acted the way I acted or I talked or spoke a certain way, especially when my accent comes out on the phone with my mom and dad. And a bunch of Canadians will look at me a little funny and it's like, oh wow, he's actually really country. So sometimes, yeah, it gets lonely. Not everybody knows exactly. Not everybody's from where you're from. But the amazing part about being lonely here in Canada, the culture's so inclusive, where they will embrace you regardless of where you're from, or how you look, or how you dress. Might judge you if you smell bad, but I think that's everywhere. But all the people here have embraced everything about me and never thought twice about it. And I love that about being here.
What do you do when you're lonely?
I'm usually sitting in the locker room, and I'll call my parents, and we'll talk for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. Once I get off the phone with them, I call my sisters. Once I get off the phone, I call my brothers, or I'll text them at least if they don't answer. And I'll probably come back and call my granddad, and that'll probably take like 3 or 4 hours of me just talking on the phone. And yeah, that'd be about it. Unfortunately, it's not